Pearl Zoom. And this Shi Ban Gong Bei Pearl Zoom, we're going to talk about some of the things that I have learned in life, as well as from learning from other people's success in my lifetime. So it's in essence, it's an ancient Chinese saying about accomplishing twice the work in half the time. So Shi Ban Gong Bei 77 Pearls is about combining the wisdom of the East and the West so that we all can accomplish things more successfully and more efficiently. On the screen, you can take a picture of my contact information. If you have any question at the end, we're going to have a Q&A today. You can ask questions or emailing me afterwards. In the lower half of the screen, you see the movie site, the free link, as well as in Chinese, that you can see the film in China as well. In the chat room, ladies and gentlemen, I just put in my contact information in English and in Chinese, and you're welcome to copy and paste. And I have three things listed there. One is the next Vision Zoom, which is this coming Tuesday, January 27th, Tuesday, 6:45 p.m. Central Time, in which we're going to talk about all of the latest laser vision surgeries. And second, next Shi Ban Gong Bei is February 18th, third Wednesday of every month, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. And number three, I have the movie listed as well. Anybody who are interested, more people watch this film site through this free link, more you're helping our Sci Foundation, because more people know our work in helping blind orphan children. So therefore, more blind orphan children from around the world that could be helped. So thank you for sharing the free Sci movie link with folks. So now you can take a picture of the screen here, which is the next Shi Ban Gong Bei Pro, which is February 18th, Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Please note it is Central Time, meaning it's 8:30 p.m. in Eastern Time, and also it's 5:30 p.m. Pacific Time. In the lower left corner, you see that if you're interested in the book, I'll be happy to mail you a free Shi Ban Gong Bei book. And you can finish reading the whole book in about 10 minutes. It's a small booklet. And I'm actually listing the book cover on the right, you see. So please email me your mailing address so that I can mail you as a little gift of the Shi Ban Gong Bei book. I'm going to spend the next few minutes talk about very quickly about where I am, what I do, then we jump right into the Shi Ban Gong Bei. So in terms of my intro, I'm going to just emphasizing that I've been involved in teaching using ophthalmology, published 10 textbooks, and also I specialize in laser vision correction surgeries. And in English, it's the same introduction about we invent the amniotic membrane contact lens, which have helped patients, millions of them worldwide. So I grew up in China during Cultural Revolution, and I had to be sent away to labor camp, just like 20 million others during the Cultural Revolution. So I had to play the Chinese violin, erhu, and learn how to dance to escape labor camp. And 1976 Cultural Revolution ended, and as you see in the film Sight, I was very lucky. My parents helped me, worked very hard. So I got into Universal Science and Technology. In 1977 and 1982, I came to America, and I got my PhD in laser physics at the University of Maryland, finished postdoc at MIT. Then I got into Harvard Med School to study the MD. So I got 2 doctorate degrees, one PhD in laser physics, one MD from Harvard and MIT joint MD program. 1991, I finished. I invited my parents over, and I'm grateful to them to help me during Cultural Revolution or the difficult times. So the movie Sight is dedicated to my parents. The reason I got 2 doctorate degrees, one in medicine, one in laser physics, is because medicine is so technologically driven. I'm probably one of the few laser vision surgeons in the world who has dual doctorate degrees, MD, and also a PhD in laser physics. I have performed over 55,000 laser vision corrections, including on over 4,000 doctors. This is my Harvard MIT joint MD graduation diploma. I met then President Ronald Reagan. Part of my research has been dedicated to helping blind orphan children. In the film site, you see Kajal, a 5-year-old Indian orphan who was brought to our foundation to help. She was intentionally blinded by her own stepmother in India, who pours sulfuric acid into her eyes, trying to make her a blind orphan child who then can sing on the streets, who will get more money by begging. So the film site is about Kajal's remarkable journey to try to come from darkness to light. This is Kajal's eye, all scarred. There is no treatment. So I started doing research, as you see in the film site, realized the fetus does not scar. And so we may be able to use that to help Kajal, but how can we do research on fetus without hurting a baby? So they say there's no common ground between faith and science. Is that really true? Fortunately, I did not give up working with other scientists. We worked hard and trying to find the common ground, and eventually realized that we could use the amniotic membrane placenta, which is around each unborn child. Maybe that membrane is what giving the unborn child the ability to heal without scar. So I got lots of placentas from hospitals after mothers giving birth to children. The placentas were discarded anyway, and started doing research, eventually developed the amniotic placenta contact lens. And amniotic membrane contact lens has helped restore eyesight in millions of patients around the world. And I donate my patent to the world and ran around the world over 20-some year period, taught over 10,000 eye doctors how to use the technology. Today, amniotic membrane contact lens has helped transform the world. Millions of patients have been helped, and eye doctors from nearly every nation are using it. And it's a $5 billion a year industry. Even though I did not make any money myself, but I feel that I did the right thing because that I did not invent the placenta or the amniotic membrane. God did. And as we get older, one of the main problems affecting us is dry eyes and corneal trauma. Dry eye is a main problem. This patient is 70-some years old with significant dry eyes. And we put the amniotic contact lens on her, and she's very happy. So amniotic membrane contact lens now has emerged as the new powerful treatment for age-related dry eyes. So it shows that not only technology has transformed the world, but also science and faith, moral ethical principles can work together. Finally, I live in Nashville, Tennessee. We have a Vision Institute, some of the best technologies because of my dual training in medicine and PhD in laser physics. I published a paper in the journal Nature, and also 10 textbooks in ophthalmic technologies to help the surgeons from around the world to improve their weak area, which is technology. 7 of my 10 textbooks has been translated in Mandarin Chinese. I served on US FDA ophthalmic device panel, and we are training surgeons from around the world. We performed the world's first laser artificial cornea implantation. All of us are affected by these 5 vision problems: myopia, nearsightedness, farsightedness, astigmatism, presbyopia, the reading difficulty as we get older, and the cataract. In year 2026, I have good news to report to you all. All 5 conditions can be treated now with these top 4 technologies. January 27th is our weekly Tuesday Zoom, 6:45 Central Time. You're welcome to come. On the lower left corner is my email address. You can take a picture of this if you have any question later. And basically, these top 4 technology are what the humankind has to offer the best. Left upper corner, SMILE, small incision LASIK. LASIK surgery is becoming obsolete. It's now replaced by SMILE. Lower left corner is implantable contact lens. Put the contact lens inside the eye. You never need to remove your contact lens at bedtime. In the middle, over 45, we have 1 surgery for every young lens. 1 surgery can fix all 5 human eye conditions: nearsighted, farsighted, astigmatism, presbyopia, and cataract. So that's why it's called Forever Young Lens. On the right is cataract surgery. Even though these top 4 laser technology are the best that humankind has to offer today, only 5% 5% of surgeons, eye surgeons in America are using it. The other 95% are still using the old blade technologies. Why? Because medicine is so fast developing, and most of the doctors are well trained with MD, but few of them have had the opportunity to have in-depth training in the technology side, which is laser. That is why I want to use my training to help other surgeons publish these textbooks, to help surgeons around the world to improve their weak area, which is technology, taking advantage of my unique training of a PhD in laser physics, in addition to MD. So that's the best 4 technologies. As I said, SMILE is making LASIK obsolete. It's replacing LASIK now, better than LASIK. For every young lens over age 45, we can get rid of your distance glasses, get rid of your reading glasses forever. Again, getting rid of your reading glasses forever. And you will never even develop cataract. And the cataract surgery can be done with laser blade, and we use laser. And we are one of the top 5% centers. In fact, we are number 1 in the United States, leading the country in the percentage of cataract surgeries performed with laser. US average is 5% cataract surgery with laser, the remaining 95% still by blade. At our center, cataract surgery is 100% with laser. Number 1 in America. And living in Nashville, I have my share of country music star patients such as Dolly Parton and others. I have not forgotten I came from China, so I've been traveling back. I'm going to China a few months to teach in dozens or so cities. And I performed China's first all-laser LASIK. Today, our patients have come from all over the world, all over the United States, and we have a foundation to help blind orphan children, which is what the movie Sight is about. And even the Chinese violin I learned during Cultural Revolution to escape labor camp has become a hobby as well, to really connect East and West with what the best China culture has to offer, the music. And even the dancing I learned during Cultural Revolution has become a hobby as well. I use it to help our medical charity. All those surgeries for those blind orphan children are free. We raise money to help their travel and other non-medical expenses. I founded Tennessee Immigrant Minority Business Group to help immigrant minorities to improve our business and help America, Latin Americans, African Americans, Asian Americans. And as a Christian, I teach in the churches on a regular basis about science and faith have common ground. As Chinese Americans, we all need to stand up for our right. And this is award the Nashvilling of the Year. It's first time given to an Asian American person. And I teach locally in our university, and this is a summary of my story. And I wrote up in my autobiography, From Darkness to Sight, which turned into movie Sight. So finally, before I start Shi Ban Gong Bei, I'm going to show you a 2-minute trailer of the movie Sight, which you can watch free. So you can turn up your computer sound a little bit. So 2 minutes trailer, and then we're going to jump into Shi Ban Gong Bei now. Here we go. Turn up the volume of the computer a little bit, you can hear.
I'm going to help you see again.
You said it was impossible.
Ah, there he is, the good doctor.
You're going to be on the cover of the Tennessee Herald tomorrow morning. You may get a date out of this.
No, that picture.
Very funny.
Our pro bono office got a call from India. A little girl, 6 years old.
Apparently, street beggars make more money if they're legitimately blind. So the stepmother poured sulfuric acid in each of her eyes.
I'm going to help you see again, Kajan.
Is it true that multiple doctors declared your patient irreversibly blind?
Yes, I developed this new breakthrough technology. Here we go. Do you see the light?
No. I can't see anything.
I have this patient from India. She reminds me of some things in the past that I can't get over.
The present is made possible by the past.
A long time ago back in China, there was an uprising in my hometown. Many bad things happened.
So we came to America.
Yes.
It's hard getting into medical school, but you coming from China, don't waste your time.
You cannot change the past, Ming.
feel like I'm stuck.
Hello, Doctor. This is Maria.
We want to give her a chance to see again.
I don't even know if I can perform surgery anymore. I left you.
Stop it. You need to just let go.
I just don't want Maria to end up like a job.
We can only do our best. I'm with you, Ming. We can do this.
I refuse to believe there is no purpose.
I will be praying for you.
The job is teaching you that there's more to life than what you see. We have to keep going.
I thought you said it was impossible.
Can you see yourself, Maria?
I'm so pretty.
The film was shown throughout the world, and the film was distributed. These are Chinese American helped the film. The film was distributed in May of 2024. You can take a picture of this. This is the free link. I really appreciate friends passing this free link to people. More people watch this film free of charge using the free link. More people will know about our foundation's work. So therefore, we can help more blind orphan children as such. So thank you. Shi Ban Gong Bei. February 18th is the next Shi Ban Gong Bei Zoom. You can take a picture. Again, if you're interested in the book, you can email me your mailing address. I will send a book to you as a gift. One question that people ask, how much efficiency can I improve using the Shi Ban Gong Bei pearls? Is it a little bit or a lot? My answer will shock you. Up to 1,000%. One of the frequent questions I get from people all the time in my life is, Ming, how many hours in a day do you have? You know, you play erhu, you practice ophthalmology, you publish these textbooks, you do the ballroom dancing. Actually, 2 days from now, I'll be competing in a major championship in ballroom dancing with probably 8,000 entries entered. So I'll be competing in the ballroom. I've been training all the time, every day, and for that competition. I'm currently ranked in the top 12 in the United States in ballroom dancing in the Pro-Am International Style Competition. So people say, how many hours do you have? Do you have like 48 hours in a day? My answer always surprised them. Sometimes I feel like I have 72, 96 hours in a day. They say, how come? My answer is very simple. I use these Shi Ban Gong Bei pearls. So then you say, wait a minute, Ming, you can improve, we all can improve the efficiency by 1,000% or 10 times. How come? That's because Jonathan Haidt wrote a book called The Righteous Mind, which shows that we're 90% emotional, therefore inefficient, only 10% logical. But then you say, if we are 90% irrational, inefficient, then there's no solution. Then came another giant in human behavior named Dan Ariely. He published a book, New York Times bestseller again, called Predictably Irrational. So we're irrational, all right, therefore inefficient, but we are predictably so. So standing on the shoulder of these two giants, I published my book, little booklet. Since we are inefficient, but we're predictably so, so therefore there's a predictable solution to our irrationality or inefficiency. Since 90% of us ourselves is irrational, so if we turn that 90% into a logical efficient, that's where the 10 times improvement in efficiency come from. Oh, up to 1,000%. So it's worth your time to study Shi Ban Gong Bei pearls. So essentially, through my lifetime, I have identified 77 nature-driven irrational behaviors. All of us, including myself. By studying myself, the mistakes I've made, as well as studying people that work with me, including many billionaires who are a lot more successful than me, I've summarized 77 things we should do to overcome 77 irrational behaviors. That's how we can be efficient. So today I'm going to do a special way. I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to start with the last, which is 77th pearl, and go backwards. Because some of you attended before, even though every third Wednesday we do it. So you're welcome to continue come back. Next one's February 12th. But for the benefit of those who have attended before, so I'm going to start backwards today. 77. 77. What you want. Life has less to do with what it will give you objectively, but more with what you want subjectively. So let's think about this. As human beings, we tend to define, or Johnny is very successful, or Nancy is not as successful, whatever, based on how much life has given Johnny versus giving to Nancy, objectively. So this particular pearl says, no, that's not what life is about. Life has less to do with what life will give you, but life, interestingly, has to do with what you want subjectively. Meaning, if someone who is giving a lot by life, lots of stuff, but he or she does not want anything, that person is not happy. On the other hand, if one person didn't have much life has given to him or her, but he or she wants so much from life, that is a happy life. So sometimes when we as human beings, I want this, but I couldn't get it, I end up to be unhappy. That is not what life wants to give you. Life wants to give you a desire. If whatever age you are today, you say, I still want to learn dancing, I still want to learn pickleball, I want to learn music, you are very lucky. Life has given you a lot. So what life is truly giving us is not how many things that we end up possessing. The most precious thing that life can give us is how much desire we have about things we want. Don't be disappointed if you want something, you didn't get it. But be grateful that life has even given you that desire of wanting something. I think I'm very lucky. I'm very happy. Life has given me a lot. Not because the things that life has given me, but life has given me so much desire. At age 65, today, I'm interested in learning dancing. I'm interested in learning Shi Ban Gong Bei. I'm interested in making friends. I'm interested in ballroom, everything. Medicine. I'm so blessed because I have so many desires. Life has more than amply rewarded me, not with things, but with desire that I have today. So be grateful if you want lots of things. On contrary, if someone who has developed dementia, Alzheimer's disease, that person is very unfortunate because life has not given him or her lots of desire right now. See? We don't want to be that way, right? We want things. Whether we can get it or not is separate. That's not important. It's if you have the desire. How can you develop desire? Well, studies have shown you have to do 5 things to develop desire. You know what the 5 things are? Let me give you 30 seconds. Everybody, 30 seconds. Think about, grab a piece of paper, write down 5 things that you do, which actually has been just proven by a publication by JAMA, Journal of American Medical Association, that shows that if you do these 5 things, you actually end up wanting lots of things, end up having a lot of desires. So what are the 5 things you can do today that will increase your desire, therefore increase what life will give you, make you happier? So 30 seconds. Here we go. Grab a piece of paper, write down 5 things you can actually do today, whatever your age, that will increase your desire. Because that's what life is all about. How much desire you have. One day you no longer have desire, life is finished. Dun 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 ding dun dun ding dun 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 ding dun dun boom boom. Okay. What are the 5 things? JAMA, Journal of American Medical Association, studying over 10,000 seniors over many year period, they concluded the following 5 things. If you do, whatever age, you actually increase your desire for things. Enable life to give you more. That's all we want, right? All of us want that. First, curiosity. That just try to learn more things. The more you learn, more desire you have. So if you never play pickleball, pick up pickleball. If you never play a music instrument, pick it up. Because more you learn, more you want to learn. The key is want to learn. So building more neuronal connections by learning more new things. Second, make new friends, socialize. If you lock yourself in the door and the evening don't want to go out, talk to people, meet people, then you're going to not develop the neuronal connection in the brain, and you're going to want less things. So far, learning new things, making new friends. Third, increasing sensory information, meaning hearing well, seeing well. If you cannot see well, do eye surgery. See better. If you cannot hear well, get a hearing aid. Because it is critically important that you should be continuously stimulated by new sensory information. What you see, what you hear. If you cannot see well, you've got a cataract or something, you don't take the cataract out, or you have a heavy nearsightedness, you don't want to have, treatment to improve your eyesight, or you cannot hear well, you don't get a hearing aid, then you end up having less information come into you. That will reduce your desire. Number 4, systemic disease. If you have diabetes, hypertension, diet, exercise, and sleep. Number 5, avoid head trauma. That's why Muhammad Ali, who, got hit many times when he was doing boxing, when he was young, developed dementia earlier. So if you want to avoid dementia later in your life, and dementia is characterized by what? Once again, a dementia is characterized by what? By loss of desire. We don't want that. So if you want to avoid dementia later in life, you have to increase your desire, what you want, by doing these 5 things. Once again, learning new things, making new friends, hearing well, seeing well, systemic medical health, hypertension, diabetes, so exercise, diet, and sleep, and finally, avoid head trauma. Okay, 70. Okay, that's 77. 76. Commitment before how. Do not worry about how to do something, please, until after you're indeed sure you really want to do it. It's interesting. Our human nature is very, very inefficient. When somebody says, hey, Ming, how come you have not gone to gym yet this year? You got a New Year resolution. I want to go to gym every day. Now it's half month past. I have not been to gym. You know what I tend to answer as a human being? I tend to think, well, I don't know how to get a gym. Hey, listen, Eric, how can I get a gym membership? Do you get that online or calling? I mean, interesting. We keep on focusing on how. But really, the root of it is I really don't want to. I really don't want to go to gym every day. But I keep on worrying about how. So basically, if you want to do something as a human being, you may or may not be able to do it. But if you really don't want to do it, you will never be able to do it. Don't throw up some excuse how. It's not important. Then you say, wait a minute, Ming, you mean we tend to throw up how? To disguide the fact that we in ourselves, we really don't want to do it? Correct. That's how I behave. That's how you behave. That's how human beings behave. We tend to not focus on the real issue. We focus on, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to get the gym card and stuff. Really, the real issue is I really don't want to go to gym every day. Then you say, Ming, wait a minute. You mean we are also so inefficient? Not focusing on the problem itself and keep on looking for excuses? Correct. That's a behavior we all have, and I'm guilty too, myself. So the essence of Shi Ban Gong Bei is to recognize these naturally inefficient behaviors and correct it and do it logically and more efficiently. Meaning, if I want to figure out how come I have not been to the gym this year, focus on my desire. Do I really want to? That is what the problem is, not I don't know how to get a gym card. The problem is not how. Problems, I really don't want to. Okay, 75. Always think why. Whatever we do, always ask ourselves this question. Why do we do it in this way? It's interesting. I have observed we as human beings, when somebody asks me to do something, we have three things, right? Why we do it, what we're doing, how we do it, right? Why, what, how. The funny thing is, I don't know why, we tend to focus on the what and how. They say, hey, Ming, how do you play tennis? Are you playing tennis? What do you think? I tend to focus on the what and the how. I say, well, is it playing tennis? It's not as good as play table tennis, isn't it? What exercise more? I don't know. Maybe is it play tennis using elbow or using wrist, or maybe table tennis using? I keep on focusing what to do and how to do it, forgetting the key issue here is why. If I never solve the why should I be playing tennis at all? I will never solve the what and how. 74. What ultimately matters. What ultimately matters is not what you think you said, it's what is being understood by the listener. And this is another human, irrational, therefore inefficient behavior. All of us, myself included. Sometimes we talk for the sake of talking. Hey, I want to say something. Okay, blah, 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 blah. As if the purpose of my talk is just to express myself. No, that is inefficient, ladies and gentlemen. That's a inefficient human behavior, because the real purpose of talking is to be understood. So we all behave this way, honestly, myself included. We talk for the sake of talking, without realizing that at the end of the day, the real goal of talking is, am I understood? Then you say, Ming, are you serious? We all behave this way? Correct. I'm not guilty either. That is the power of Shi Ban Gong Bei, you see? Because I recognize these inefficiencies that we all do. We think about it, it's inefficient. If you talk for the sake of talking, you never worry about whether you're being understood, then your talk is a waste of time. Waste of time is the definition of inefficiency. See? So we really need to focus on about my goal of talking is try to be understood. They say the best teacher is not someone who knows the best about the subject. Once again, the best teacher is not someone who knows the most about a subject. The best teacher is someone who knows the most what his or her students know. The best teacher is not someone who knows the most about their subject. The best teacher is someone who knows the most what his or her students know. #73. People are one-track minded. This is a very interesting part, and I learned it the hard way. People are there for one reason and one reason only. They do not pay attention to anything else. You all seen this horse on the road in a parade? You know, they put two blinders on each side of the horse head so that horse will not be distracted by things on the side of the road, so the horse in the parade can keep on going straight, right? Guess what? We as human beings are all one-track-minded animals. We just see what's in front of us. We are genetically not inclined to pay attention to our surroundings. Then you say, wait a minute. First of all, Ming, is that bad? My answer is, it is bad. Because anything you want to examine a problem, it has to do with the context the problem is at, right? The same problem in a different context require different solutions. So if you don't pay attention to, if you're one-track mind, you only see what's directly in front of you. You don't see the things on the left. You don't see things on the right. Then you end up inefficient problem solver because you don't solve the problem. You don't recognize the context the problem is in. Then you say, oh, that makes sense. If we forget the context is in, I'm going to be inefficient. Correct. Then you say, we all behave this way. Correct. Every single one of the 77 Shi Ban Gong Bei is a recognition of one human natural inefficient behavior. This is another one. Then you say, oh, that makes sense. I better look around. I need to take my blinders off on each side of my head. Anything I need to look what's on the left, what's on the right, what's in front of it, what's behind it. I need to look around because I have to see the context the problem is at in order to solve the problem. Then you may say, wait a minute, man, why we develop this way? It seems stupid. Why would human being evolve into an animal that does things so inefficiently, like looking things straight on and forget the context. It seems stupid. Why? What would human race ancestor, our ancestors, develop such a, why? You're pointing these human inefficiencies, all right? And I recognize it. I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to be more rational, logical, solving this irrational, inefficient behaviors. But I have a question. Why we behave this way? Focusing on things right in front of you is obviously inefficient. Sometimes we even come up with wrong conclusion, right? So why we behave that way? I'll give you 10 seconds to think of this question. Why we develop as human being, end up as an animal, focusing only on what's dead in front of us. Why? Dun 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 ding da da dee dun 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 ding dun dun boom boom. Why? Well, the reason we develop such a one-track animal is because in the old days in the jungles, when the tiger is running towards you, for survival, it is more important for me to pay attention to what's directly in front of me to escape. Otherwise, I'll be eaten. If I pay too much attention on the surroundings, I may slow down my reaction. The tiger may get me and finish, eat me. So that kind of human ancestor did not survive until today. The one that survived until today, we are all the offspring of that particular human sapien, is a human being that has escaped the jungles. And he or she has a genetic characteristics, paying only attention to what's directly in front of for survival. But today, we don't have as much ancient primitive survival issues. We have more of a complex society with all kinds of problems. So we need to overcome our human nature. We recognize the one-track mind is not the most efficient way of living. We have to develop what fits the society today, which is the context, the surrounding. 72. Focus on the problem that you can do something about. When faced with a list of problems, focus only on the problem that you can do something about. One of the things that I've been asked many times, as I mentioned earlier, say, hey, Ming, do you have like 40 hours in a day or something? Do you have sleep? What is it that my answer always surprises them? I say, sometimes I feel like I have 72, 96 hours. I do more things with more dedication than most of the people that I've met. So not necessarily more successful, but more dedication for sure. But what I find is that I've realized a long time ago, I don't want to spend my time on 99% of the problems that I face. I only spend my time on 1% of the problem. In fact, I'm going to write a book one day. It's called Focusing, Let the 99% Problem Go and Focus on 1%. Wouldn't that make you more efficient? Of course. Wouldn't that make you feel like you have 72, 96 hours in a day? Of course, because you have less to worry about. And then you say, wait a minute, Ming. What is 99% problem that you do not worry about? My answer is very simple. I don't worry about the things I don't have control. Then you say, you mean in our life, what's happening to us? Every human being, 99% of these things happen to us, we have no control. I say correct. Like the weather. But then you say, you mean we still worry about them? Correct. Isn't that stupid? We as human beings, myself included, we naturally tend to worry about things we have no control. So if you realize this pearl, starting tomorrow, you'll be a lot more efficient because you realize that you don't have to worry about 99% of the problems you have been worried about. Out of 100 problems, only one problem you have complete control. You only need to worry about that. You are going to gain a new sense of liberation from anxiety and depression by realizing you don't have to worry about 99% of things in life by applying the criteria of this pro. Then you may have a question. You say, okay, Ming, it makes sense. Majority of things in our life, we don't have control. If we worry about those, we end up to be worrying person all the time. Depressed, stressed, anxiety. Indeed, if we switch our attention on the 1% things we do have complete control, our life is a lot more easier and happier. Correct. That makes sense. Then you may ask me a question. You say, Ming, why is it? Why we have developed this inefficient habit against logic? Because it does not make sense to worry about things we don't have control, but what we do worry about them as human beings. Why we human beings naturally worry about things we don't have control, which is stupid. It makes us inefficient, anxiety, depressed. Why we behave that way? Worry about things we don't have control. Okay, another 10 seconds for you to come up with the answer. Dun 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 ding dun dun ding dun 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 ding dun dun boom boom. Ladies and gentlemen, while we naturally as human beings worry about things we don't have control, because it is inefficient, that seems to be inefficient way of living, irrational, make you very, very inefficient, because to keep on worrying about things you don't have control, like weather, it's only going to slow you down, make you inefficient, accomplish things. But why we behave that way naturally is because survival again. Because if we focus on things we do have control, and then when that something did not happen, who do we have to blame? Ourselves. Because I do have 100% control. It's nobody else's fault except mine. On the contrary, if I worry about things I do not have control, when that thing, go sour, didn't happen, I have an excuse. I say, it's not my fault. It's Johnny's fault. It's Nancy's fault. It's Eric's fault. They have control. So make us feel better. A little bit better survival. You see? But that is making us inefficient. So you see why we behave that way. Recognize it. Correct it. Starting tomorrow, you will be 100 times more efficient because you end up free yourself from the things. Anything you're going to worry, you apply this criteria, 72. You say, okay, all right, Nancy want me to do this. Eric want me to do this. Do I have control? I don't have control. Forget it. Don't bother doing that. Anything I take on my task, I always ask myself, this particular task, do I have control? If I don't have control, it's not my priority. I prioritize what I do, only the things I have control. So I end up be happy all the time. I end up being able to do lots of things, more than most people, not because I'm smarter, but because I'm selective. I select to do things only those that I have control. Why do you ask for trouble? Human nature is asking for trouble, isn't it? Keep on asking to control things you don't have control. 71. Subjective and objective evaluation. In assessing a person or a situation, be sure to have both subjective and objective information. This is fascinating, this pro. I found that human beings, including myself, we tend to gravitates towards only one, not both. You know, we will say the high-speed railway, it's great. It's 400 miles an hour. It's better than 300 miles an hour. Well, that's objective. But how about subjective experience of the riders? Is it at 400 miles an hour? Do the passengers happier? Right? On the contrary, sometimes we gravitate to subjective, forget about the objective. For example, Johnny picked up this pickleball to play. It's going to be very healthy for him, presumably. So he play and he play a lot. Well, if your goal of playing pickleball is to be happy, wouldn't you need some objective criteria like did his blood pressure drop? Did his blood sugar drop? Right? And the human nature is fascinating. We almost never pick both. We either pick subjective, forget about objective criteria, and sometimes we pick objective, forget about subjective. So what I've learned by making mistakes in my life, and what I've learned by watching the successful billionaires, how they operate, and I realized that many of those billionaires, they're able to overcome human nature, and they pick both objective and subjective. Make them a lot clearer about the action and a lot more successful in the action. 70. This is the last pearl we're going to go through. And remaining pearl, we're going to go the next one, February 18th, Shi Ban Gong Bei. So this pearl is this. Life is an optimization process. If the vertical axis is productivity and happiness, and the horizontal axis, X is a human effort, from 0 to 100% effort, then life is a bell-shaped curve. While 0% effort will give us nowhere, the low value of the Y in terms of productivity or happiness, keep on trying while ignoring writing on the wall, 100% regardless, is also detrimental and non-productive, meaning, again, low value in the productivity vertical axis. So life is not about too little effort. Life is also not about too much effort. Life is always an optimization process, meaning we keep on working, exploring, to find that particular location on the x-axis, meaning the particular amount of effort, where the y-axis, the productivity happiness, is at maximum. It's bell-shaped curve. This is very important because people sometimes say, I know I cannot be lazy. So everything I do, I cannot be doing no effort, okay? But I'm going to be persisting. I'm going to persevere regardless. Guess what? That's detrimental also. If things are obviously not working, there's obviously writing on the wall, and you're ignoring it, and that's bad as well. Just as bad as lazy. So life it's about recognizing where the optimal point is in the horizontal axis, which is the amount of effort, trying to find at which amount of effort in which the vertical axis, the y-axis, which is the productivity and the happiness, is at the maximum. This is what life is about. Life is about optimization process. Life is not about going either extreme. That's essentially is the ancient Chinese philosophy behind yin and yang symbol. Have you ever wondered what yin and yang symbol means? Well, it's about complementarity, it's about balancing, it's about completing each other, it's about husband and wife, it's about life comes to a circle, Correct. But that yin and yang symbol also means something deeper. Means life is not about having too much black area versus white area or white area versus black area. It's about recognizing at the end a balance. Actually, you can actually be too good to be bad. You can be so good, you are bad. For example, if you worry about Johnny's health, you're good. You're caring about Johnny. You check on Johnny, every month. Hey, Johnny, how's your blood pressure? Okay, that's good. You're caring for your friend. But can you imagine you check on Johnny blood pressure every week, every day, every hour, every second? You actually gone from good being bad to being bad. Way too much. Too overbearing. You can actually be bad when you're too good. So life is about recognizing the appropriate degree. And how do you determine that point? Is the vertical axis, the happiness. How much effort depends on where, because past on that, if you make more effort, you have decrease of return, decreasing return. Okay, you got a flavor of the Shi Ban Gong Bei pros. We covered the 7 pros. Next one, again, how much efficiency we can improve by studying Shi Ban Gong Bei pros up to 1,000%. Because 90% of us each of us is irrational, therefore inefficient, and we are predictably so. So standing on the shoulder of these 2 giant New York Times bestseller, I published my 3rd book saying Shi Ban Gong Bei. Since we are irrational, inefficient, but we are predictably so, we can predictably recognize what we're irrational about and using rationality. Since 90% of each of us is irrational, inefficient, by converting that to logical, rational, we can actually improve our efficiency 10 times or 1,000%. The Shi Ban Gong Bei is through my upbringing in the East and life experience living here in the West, combine the best of East and West to recognize, to observe 77 human nature-driven, irrational, therefore inefficient behaviors, how we can hit head-on, devise rational, logical behaviors so we can accomplish life more and be happier. At the end of the day, you can ask me, what's your end game? Very simple. My game in life is really simple. It's not that high-flying. It's just, I want to be happy. That's all. I want to be happy, as you see an example, by worrying about less things. Only worry about things that I have control. I want to be happy by recognizing what life can give me is not the things, but the desire. I want to have more desire. That's how life give me. I want to be happy by recognizing when I do things, I need to apply logical, objective, and the subjective criteria, both. And I want to be happy by recognizing life is not about doing nothing or doing everything. It's about doing just the right amount of things. So next, the Shi Ban Gong Bei Pros, February 18th. You're welcome to tune in. Again, you can take a picture of the screen. And if you're interested in the book, I'll be happy to mail you the free gifted book. You can finish reading the book, all 77 pros, all in 10 minutes. But the book is not about how earth-shattering rocket science is. No, the book is about the knowledge we all actually know. These are all inefficient behaviors, but we don't practice it. The book is not about you don't know these. The book is about you don't apply it. I try to correct that in myself. I read this book every day. And on average, I apply about 5 to 10 pros out of the 77 pros a day. That is why, even though I'm not the smartest, but I end up being able to do a little bit more than many people. I end up being able to be more dedicated in most people, and I end up to be perhaps happier in many people because I learned if I follow my nature, I not end up to be depressed, anxious, worrying. So because I'm a human being, I'm emotional, so I try to recognize that. So ultimate goal of Shi Ban Gong Bei Pro is to apply the wisdom of East and West and be happy. So anybody interested in vision surgery, January 27th is the vision Zoom. You're welcome to come. You can take a picture of this. By the way, in the chat room, I put my contact information and also put January 27th vision Zoom. We're going to talk about SMILE, small incision LASIK, which make LASIK surgery obsolete. We're talking about implantable contact lens, how I can put a contact lens inside your eyes. You never need to remove your contact lens at bedtime. We're going to talk about forever young lens surgery. So how can one surgery, if you're over age 45, I can correct your vision so you never need glasses to drive. You never need glasses. You never need reading glasses. You may be 99 years old. You still have 25-year reading. And you will never develop cataract. And if you have cataract surgery, we talk about how to use a laser. United States, only 5% surgeon using laser. At One Vision, we use 100%. We're leading the country. So I'm going to talk about these things. And second thing, in the chat room, I talk about the next Shi Ban Gong Bei Pro, which once again, next one is February 18th. Okay, so remember this. And third thing I talk about in the chat room is the link to the movie. And I really appreciate any of you, if you're interested in the book, you can donate to the foundation by visit onefoundation.com, hit donate button, and you can donate online, or if you write a check, you can send a check to Wang Foundation. All proceeds of my books, I've published 25 books now. All the proceeds of my book are donated to the Sai Foundation so we can help more blind orphan children. And finally, really appreciate your help, all of your support to our Sai Foundation by sharing with folks this free Sai movie link. You can take a picture of the screen. More people will share the link. More people watch the film free. And more people will be aware of our amnion membrane work and our Blind Orphan Children Foundation work so that we end up being able to help more blind orphan children. So appreciate support to our foundation so we can help more blind orphan kids by sharing this free movie link with folks. Thank you. So next one, Shi Ban Gong Bei Pro, is February 18th, always third Wednesday of every month. In the chat room, you see the next Vision Zoom this coming Tuesday, next Shi Ban Gong Bei Zoom, February 18th, as well as the movie link to see the movie. Thank you. And I'm going to discontinue the sharing and open it up for questions. And Dr. Chen, I want to acknowledge him. He's very helpful that he donated his time to help us. And we're going to open up for questions. Anybody have any question regarding these pros or about vision or about Shi Ban Gong Bei Zoom of the film? I see we have my dear friend Lana. Thank you for attending again. Thank you. Max Lee, thank you. He gave us some education about AI. That this guy is genius by AI. I saw Jiangshu Chang, who is a professor. I visited not long ago. And I see Nathan. I see Xiaoli Chen, Elaine Okasawara, and Xiang Li. Yeah, thank you, Xiang. And Sharon Lee. Thank you, Roger. And also Chuck Woody as well. And friends, anybody has any question, feel free to ask any question. I see. Yes. Anybody has a question?
Hi. Actually, this email I use is not real. My real name. My name is Xue Li. I think what you're teaching is really great stuff. I wonder if I see your advertisement in our mail group, in our WeChat group, right? So, but I don't see. Not as many people showed up. Do you think you can actually, you know, the way, I don't know, it just doesn't seem people are joining. Maybe you should just do more promotion for your program. It's really wonderful, like the 77 thing, especially the last couple things you taught. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I think
especially has a lot of wisdom in there. So I was actually very surprised to hear that because I don't know what to expect stuff. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Sharon. Really appreciate
Yeah.
it. I think Dr. Chang, if you are still on the Zoom, you can respond. The Zoom, Shi Ban Gong Bei Zoom, is hosted by our volunteer, Dr. Ming Chen, MD, who is actually an ophthalmologist in Houston, Texas. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. And Dr. Chen has been accumulating the email list of people who are interested. And so far, Dr. Chen, if you're listening, near the microphone, you can undo the microphone and answer the question. And anytime, Dr. Chen. I think Dr. Chen has email list about something like over 1,000 people, maybe even 2,000 people. But what you said is absolutely correct, Sharon, that I don't know how to, Dr. Chen and I, we are still exploring the channel or way to communicate, to market this. Because WeChat, the people don't necessarily read the WeChat as such. So we did post it on the WeChat. So I think the only answer that we have now, the Shi Ban Gong book is on the Amazon, by the way, but only answer to your question. First of all, you pose an excellent question, and that's the question, is the bottleneck. We have 13, 14 people, and we could have probably, 130 people. But right. I think it's the only answer to your question at the moment is each of us, whoever attended, feel like you found it to be helpful. You tell your friends every third Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. You have the Zoom number is in the chat room. You can take a picture of the chat room content. So meaning every one of us today share with friends your experience of attending the Zoom. So therefore, more people attend. So that's the only way to do it right now in terms of marketing.
Okay.
Any other? Thank you, Sharon. Where are you, Sharon? What?
Yeah, I'm based in Washington, D.C. So actually, I hear your advertisement from this Zhongkeda. There's a WeChat group. Yeah, I saw it there.
I see.
Yeah.
You're USTCer?
Yeah, I'm not from that school, but I'm in their group. So yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Yes. It's I'm so glad that you saw it. And if you're interested, really, really appreciate that. If you can, you must have received probably an email as well from Dr. Chen. Dr. Chen, I'm gonna call his attention when he come back to the Zoom. In fact, if you can send me email, in fact, Sharon, can you put your email in the chat room? Just your name and email.
Yes.
What I will do is I'm going to ask Dr. Chen that he will then follow up with you after today and saying, Sharon, this is our standard template. And so, you all can talk to each other. I think we need everybody's personal effort to try to, spread the word. You're right. And it's very helpful to us because these are literally pearls that I find it to be. For example, Max Lee knows that. I know many billionaires, but one particular billionaire, Max actually know who I'm talking about. This guy started business together with me 23 years ago. And today we're both reasonably successful. The only small difference is that he is multi-billionaire. He has, I have eye clinic employing 30 people. He has a business employing 70,000 people. So working with him for over the last 23 years, I have actually paid attention to how he did it. Because he doesn't not have extra arm, extra head, 三头六臂. He doesn't have that. He just the same as me, and just another human being. Why him? He is like number 10th wealthiest man in the world in healthcare. Number 167 or the Forbes 500 wealthiest people in the world. So I had the opportunity of working with him side by side for 23 years in joint businesses. And I watched him. And many of these pearls today that in the book, 77, probably about 7 or 8 pearls came directly from him. Actually from him. Actually my observation of him with a question that what is about him that in a similar number of years ended up to be much more successful than me. So that's the source of these pearls. I actually collect, I just happen to be more observing. I observe people, I think about it, and because I want to improve myself. So 77 pearls are practically very useful life and business pearls. So you're right. It's literally will make us a lot more successful. But the bottleneck is most people don't know it. They don't know there's somebody named Ming who is so keen on observing human nature and detect the inefficiencies in human nature and devise solutions for these inefficiencies based on my own experience and lots of other, lot more successful people than me, their experiences. People don't know that. They don't know that somebody like me exists. I spend my lifetime collecting those pearls and studying them because I want to benefit from it. I literally, anybody who worked with me, Sharon, Chang actually worked with me, that I visit his institute, and Dr. Chen, certainly Shang Li as well, Max, Lana, my dear friend. And most of the people working with me over time always have the same observation. They always say, Ming, wait a minute, how many hours in a day do you sleep? And when Lana asked me that question, my answer surprised her. She expected me to say I sleep, 3 or 4 hours a day? No, Lana, I sleep on average 9 hours a day. more than most people at age 65. So within the remaining 17 hours in a day, I just happen to be more efficient. Not smarter, more efficient. And I'm more efficient not because I'm smarter, because if I'm smart, I would come up with these pearls myself, right? No, these pearls are learned from people, most of them from people a lot smarter than me. I just happen to be more observant. I observe and I think and I try to improve myself. I use this book every day. It's on my bookends every day in my pocket. It's tiny little book, less than a palm. You can finish reading the whole book in 10 minutes. But it's about application. You have to use it. You have to use it. For example, today with the pearl about we also only pick a subjective, not objective, subjective at the same time. You have to read that pearl to recognize that's your natural tendency. For example, the pearl today, we worry about things we don't have control. Interesting, Sharon, tomorrow, I bet you apply this pearl in your workplace tomorrow, you'll be shocked to see how many of your colleagues, friends, working with you, they're only, most of the time, worrying about things they don't have control. You realize that, you see that. You say, we have a party, next Friday, hey, Johnny, how many people? Oh, we don't have any people come. You know what people tend to answer that question, Sharon? They say, well, next Friday, weather's not too good. What's the point of saying that? Are you going to change the weather? You see, the person just 浪费口舌, just spend time to talk about something he has absolutely no control. But rather than talking about the weather's not good, if we do want to have a successful party, what should we talk about? We should talk about, you know what, Sharon? We invited 50 people through an email blast. Should we call some of these friends? Now that you have control. You can call or you cannot call. You see, I just give an example, day-to-day life, that we so easily fall into the trap of worrying about things we don't have control. That's human nature. That's natural. But that's not efficient. So you're absolutely right, Sherry, in recognizing the importance of these pearls. I happen to be one human being who is very observing. That's actually, believe it or not, honestly, that's my, that's how I can do anything in life. Because when I was at 中国科技大学 USTC, when I was in Maryland, I was at Harvard Medical School, MIT, I found 20% kids were smarter than me. 20% smarter than me. So I'm not the smartest, for sure. So I said, well, if I'm not the smartest, I can be most observant. These 77 pros did not come easily. It came from a lifelong experience. What do we have to show after we're living on this planet for, 40 years, 50 years, in my case, 65 years? What do I have to show for the fact that I have lived on this planet for 65 years? This is what I have to show. The pearls that I learned in life. This is what we have to show after being on the earth for some days. It's not the cars we have. It's not the house we have. It's not the things we have. It's the pearls about life that we have learned. That is the essence of life.
Dr. Wang?
Yes, Lana.
Thank you for the compliments, but we must compliment you. You're the one who inspires us. The 1% you mentioned a few minutes ago is relevant to Snoopy. Snoopy said, there's no sense in barking if there's nothing to bark about. You, in your 1%, you explode with excitement. You make us cognizant. You make us aware. And as far as a marketing tool, with the Chinese New Year coming up, it would be a wonderful way to coordinate the new year with sight. And that could be part of the marketing tool, the awareness. And I think implementing that could help a lot, even though I'm questioned if you get 9 hours of sleep. That I'm going to debate, but I'm not here to debate you. But group, all of you who are listening tonight, do something for sight. Do something for Dr. Wang's institution. And also, you're going to be doing it for yourself. In the celebration of the Chinese New Year, tell at least one friend each day. And this will expand to something much greater than a number we can even conceive. Congratulations to you for including us in your wonderful thoughts. And a happy Chinese New Year in advance from the nice Jewish girl in LA.
Thank you, thank you.
I applaud you as a self-declared member of your fan club.
Thank you. You're always being so encouraging and supportive, Lana. Really, really appreciate. And I think someone like you who recognize the why, the reason that I'm doing these is to share what I learned in life. And, I hope there are more people like you who recognize what I'm doing. I'm literally sharing what I learned, and in hope I will learn also from all the people that I interact, that I can learn also. And it's something that all of us will benefit, as you said. For example, the JAMA studies show that we need to develop more desire in order to be healthy. The people who is dementia is losing the desire. And the JAMA published the 5 things we need to do to increase our desire, which I talk about these 5 things tonight. These are the type of things that everybody will benefit. And finally, I want to say that Lana's right, that Chinese New Year is coming, Year of Horse, and I was born in China. I came to this country when I was 21. I live in the West for nearly 44 years now, and I found a somewhat interesting position. Many of us immigrants are that I can actually learn from both cultures. I take the best from Asian culture, Chinese culture, and I take the best from the Western culture, and I combine them and form the Shi Ban Gong Bei pearls. And we talk about balancing, for example, optimization pearl that came from Yin Yang. That's Eastern philosophy, and I learned some other things from Western philosophy. So at the end of the day, I recognize that it's today world is so divided. Is the China way better? Is the American way better? Is the East way better? Is the West way better? Is at the end of the day, I realize it's not about the world should go east or the world should go west. It's about the world should go forward. So I hope my effort in sight, helping blind orphan children, my effort in celebrating East and West culture, my effort in demonstrating to be an observant person, learning things about life to share with others, that can help. All of us need to work together so that we can recognize at the end we all have shared humanity on this very vulnerable earth, which could be hit by any meteoroid anytime. We have really no choice but to try and find a way to overcome the polarization division and find a common ground. So my life's passion at the end is to help human beings to find common ground as such. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else has any question? Dr. Chen? Dr. Chen, he was on the Zoom early, but he may come back. So Sharon, if you can, I don't see in the chat, did you send your email address? Let me see. Oh,
yes. I did.
Yes, I see some emails that John Xu, thank you, Professor Xu, for attending, and the email from Elaine Akasawa. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm currently researching most significant influence international students in America. Yes. Would you talk a little about it? It's about the most significant influences on international Asian students in America that contributed to their conversion to Christianity. Very interesting question. I will comment about that in a second. Next one, Sharon. Yes, I see that, Sharon, for the email address there. Appreciate it. I'm going to write it down, your email address, so that I will communicate to Dr. Chen later. And any suggestion you may have that in terms of helping people know about Shi Ban Gong Bei Pro Zoom, really appreciate.
Yeah, I actually requested you to connect with you on WeChat as well, because
Okay.
I recently opened a DMV like a community, Chinese community like WeChat group. Like we have more than 800 people now, so I can actually advertise your event over there. Yeah, for next one.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it. I will follow up with email to you. And I just realized something, that Dr. Chen, who probably will come back to the Zoom very soon, he wants everybody to put the email address in the chat room. Put email address in the chat room. So if you can go ahead and do that, he's just trying to keep a track of attendance as such. So, and everybody, if you can put your email address in the chat room, and then Dr. Chen can keep track of attendees, and we can recognize how many people are repeat attendees as such, so we can try to tailor our program more to the people who have spent time and effort. I see Dr. Zhang, Professor Zhang Xu, and also Chuck Ika as well. Anybody else? Sharon Lee, I saw that. So regarding, Elaine, regarding your question, and I say Xiao Li, yes, as well. Perfect. And
I have a question.
Yes.
how can I connect with you to share my movie on exposing the dangers of drug abuse and sex trafficking? I want to see how I can get it into Netflix or do it the same way you did it.
Oh, yes. Great question. Thank you so much for coming to the Zoom. I am looking at the screen. Which one? Are you Chuck? No.
Yeah.
Oh, Chuck. Oh, yes, Chuck. I have your email. So I will answer your question. Just a second. I'm going to make a note of your question. Chuck, you and I communicate on email and really appreciate your accept my invitation to come to the Zoom today. First, I'm going to quickly answer the question of Elaine's and then communicate with you. Elaine, you asked an excellent question. That is, what is the most significant inferences of international Asian students in America that contributed to their conversion to Christian faith? My answer is very simple. I actually experienced that. Elaine, I don't know if you have seen the film called God's Not Dead. It's a wonderful Christian film called God's Not Dead. In that film, it's about campus debate, American campus debate about evidence for existence of God. And so I encourage you to see that film. It talk about, on regular basis, because of the film, God's Not Dead notoriety, my pastor and I are invited to American campuses all the time. We've been to over 100 campuses across the United States to talk about faith and science. And I find there's no question the most inferential way influencing international students, particularly Asian students, is through the angle of science, not through directly the angle of faith. Because most of Asian students, especially from China, but many Asian countries, are not born as believers. So if you, it's totally different from American Christian boy or girl grew up in this country, or for that matter, a Jewish boy and girl grew up in this country, right? They're born that way. Most of Asian students are not born as a believer or having faith of any kind. So the traditional approach doesn't work. You cannot start with the Bible because they have no experience. You know, human being will only learn after we have the experience. In other words, if you experience two things about life, right? Experience and understanding of the experience. So if I speak about topic, I have 4 kinds of audiences. Experience box could be 1, and understanding of the experience box could be 0, right? So I have 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. So guess what? Out of these 4 boxes of experience and understanding of the experience, only 25% of my audience, meaning somebody who is 0, 0, there's no point, but that person has 0 experience. Experience are not taught. Experience are experienced. Experiences are experienced. When I was young, my parents said, "Man, don't date that girl." Guess what? I still want to date that girl and make a mistake. I don't listen. We have to make the mistake to learn anything. So experiences are experienced. Experiences are not taught. So who is my best audience when I speak about something, an understanding of something? It's not 0, 0. The experience 0, understanding 0, out. It's not 1, 1, because somebody has experience and also have understanding, then I'm wasting my time because that person already understands what's the point. It's not 0, 1, because that person has no experience. The experience box is 0. Again, it's a waste of my time. So out of these 4 possibilities, only 1, which is 25% of the people, are my appropriate audience, which is 1 and 0. Experience 1 and understanding 0. So as a speaker, I can never give you life experience. I can only give you an understanding based on your own life experience. I can only help elevating your experience into an understanding of the experience. So today I share with you 7 pearls, Shi Ban Gong Bei. If you have no experience. You don't understand these 7, you will get nothing out of today's talk. You know, that's why the Shi Ban Gong Bei prose, incidentally, tends to be good for people over age 30 or 40 or 50 when you have life experience. Shi Ban Gong Bei prose today is irrelevant for a 15-year-old. That person has not had a life experience. They have no idea what I'm talking about. So, according to that theory, the only audience for what I'm talking about is a 1, the experience box is 1, and understanding box is 0, not the other 3 combinations, meaning only 25% audience. If you're going to influence Asian students, they have to have experience. So what do Asian students have? Atheist Asian students have? They have experience with religion? No. They have experience of what? They have experience in science. So you have to start with where you are. As a speaker, you have to start with where your audience is. The common mistake that people make in the realm of Christian teaching, evangelism, is they do not start with the experience of audience. They start with, that's the one that prose I talk about, as if these people's purpose of speaking is for the sake of speaking. No, the purpose of speaking is for the sake of being understood. And if your audience can understand what you're talking about, the audience must have experience about what you're talking about. If they don't have experience, they will never understand what you're talking about. So then you say, what do I need to talk about if my audience has experience? Well, your audience is 1 and 0. Experience box is 1, understanding box is 0. They don't understand what their experience means. So to conclude, Elaine, to answer the question, the most important inference to Asian student, international student for Christian faith is start with science. They have experience and try to go from science to extend into faith. Not the traditional view that's starting with Bible. That does not work. Now, Chuck, your question that you actually talk about, now your work is about fighting human trafficking, isn't it?
Yeah, and drug addiction.
Addiction, yes. Fighting human drug addiction. And at which stage is your project right now? It's in a book form, right? You have the book, and have you any more things beyond the book?
No, it's a film. 1 hour, 35 minutes film, completed since 2024 December.
Okay, so you have a film, which is a feature film?
Yeah.
It's not documentary?
No, it's not documentary.
Okay, so you have a feature film. Okay. Great question. I want to relate to you my 10-year experience with film site in a nutshell. Okay, we can follow up with more discussions, you and me. But in a nutshell, the bottleneck for film today has to do with out of house. It's not making the film. There's only 1%. The 99% effort is the distribution or marketing.
Yeah.
And in the United States, 30,000 films are made every year. 30,000. Less than 300 films are released in theaters. That's 1%. And the determining factor is out of 30,000 films, there are lots of good ones. Much more than 1%. But only why is 1%? Because they could not find the marketing distribution. Traditional marketing is not applicable for indie films, independent films such as yours, because that doesn't have the millions of dollars of P&A, the publicity and the advertising. So the only way is to look for very small number of distributors who are willing to work with you. And among them, I will relate to you. We have this film site took us 10 years. And it's talk about Christian faith, talk about Chinese Americans struggle. And we went to film studios and we were universally rejected by all top 10 film distributors. Rejected. None of the company willing to distribute. For example, let me show you. So I will show you this effort we did. And this is not, out of nowhere. This little, I will share with you, Pearl, so that you can see what kind of things we have to do in order to market and distribute. Because 1% effort making a film is the making the film. It's 99% how to market it. So we have this film, and we are, you saw that, right? The film, I showed that trailer. But we are universally rejected by American, all top 10 distributors, citing that they are not interested in Chinese American films unless it is Kung Fu or Ancient Dynasty. Because that's all American audience wants to watch, Jackie Chan. But I said Chinese Americans are a lot more than, Kung Fu and Ancient Dynasty. We have our doctors, we have our attorneys, we have engineers, business people. They say they don't care because the track record shows that Americans will not want to watch Chinese films unless it's Kung Fu and Ancient Dynasty. Okay? In fact, I've been in the United States for almost 44 years now. I have never seen a single film other than Sight that is about first-generation Chinese American immigrant film story, real life stories. It's all stereotyped Chinese American Kung Fu if you want to be successful in mainstream American theater. So we got rejected, every single studio. So what did I do? Well, I took the film to the United States. You see this diagram? I brought the film free of charge over 365 days to 40 states in America. Free of charge, showed the film to 500 audience groups. So over this 365 days, I did a tour every single weekend, almost 95% weekends, Monday through Friday. Monday through Thursday, Friday I work, and Friday I depart 3 o'clock in the morning, get up and travel to one state, put up 5 shows. It's one man's effort, unprecedented in US history, meaning the subject, the film, take the film around the country, show free of charge. So
how do you pay for it?
Over 365 days, I conduct 500 free film shows to 500,000 people. This is a list of states.
How do you fund it? The funding.
How do I what?
How did you fund it?
Pay for it.
I pay myself. I pay my own way. I did not get a dime from any film company. I pay my own way. I didn't even get money. That there's a studio, Hollywood studio called Open River, which made a movie. They raised the money, made the film site, right? I did not ask for a dime from them. I actually did it myself. This is, you see, group of Chinese American help. 365 days, Chinese in America. It's unprecedented in US history. One man's dream. And it's also all of our dreams as immigrants. Our dream is to stand up, to tell our stories, to let America know the contribution that Chinese Americans have made to this country. Okay? Otherwise, prejudice will continually persist. Okay? I mean, Lana is on the Jewish people have set us a wonderful example how to speak up. Steven Spielberg. I mean, saw these wonderful film producers and directors and are Jewish. Schindler's List. They tell the story. So we should be inspired by the Jewish people. We should be inspired by the...
How did you get back the money you spent? I bet the money you spent in showing the films.
I found it myself. I buy the economy air ticket. I just flew in myself. I just did it myself. I asked a lady who helped me in the weekends, and so she was gracious enough to help. But all the people involved, I mean, there are like thousands, tens of thousands throughout the United States. All Chinese Americans, most of them, are all volunteers. Volunteers. I actually can send an article about the things I learned in the 365 days. So to answer your question, Chuck, here's the basic question. Are you willing to have boots on the ground, to travel? I live in third-rate motels. I travel economy class, and I ate sandwiches. Talk to people. You're willing to go.
The funds.
Yeah, you're willing to go. You're willing to go. You're willing to show the film free.
Yeah.
And it's your mission that will inspire people. The mission of fighting human trafficking, drug addiction. It is your passion. And most importantly, your own dedication. And you may ask a very good question. You say, Ming, wait a minute. How did you inspire 50,000 people to do this unprecedented film trip in U.S. history, unprecedented U.S. history? My answer is very simple. I was able to inspire because of the subject of the film about Chinese American immigrants' contribution to America, which Chinese Americans want to. It's a faith film that people want to be inspired, but also, most importantly, my work ethic, my dedication of 365 days of my life, traveling 95% weekends. How
did you get the money to travel? Like right now, I spent almost $400,000 to shoot the film. It's a big budget film. I've been spending like $53,000 trying to get a market. Right now, I don't have money to like travel around and show the film for free.
It's not that expensive because I buy these airplane tickets way in advance. As I said, economy class. And I buy one advance. It's interesting. When I bought lots of these tickets, I ended up having lots of free tickets. I've been doing international travel for, faith and science talk, for my medical lectures, for Shi Ban Gong Bei, for, all these things I talk about for years. So I accumulate a huge amount of miles. So I end up lots of these air tickets are free. But the point is people. If you don't have people who are inspired by this, they're not going to come out to be volunteers. And that inspiration to get people to be interested are two things. One, your story, the movie itself, right? Which you do. Fighting human trafficking, drug addiction. Second is your own dedication. I was there every single of these shows. I was always the first person arriving on set. In a school or church, I was the first person arrive. Earliest person. I never was late entire year. And I lifted the most number of boxes. So when people saw that, they say, you know what? This guy's so motivated. He's the first person doing all the physical labor. He's the first person on set, last person to leave. They are inspired by the story itself, by the mission of telling our stories of Chinese Americans, so that we're no longer being discriminated against, but also they're inspired by my own sense of mission and dedication. So that's my answer to your question. Are you willing to put on boots on the road and just do it?
Dr. Wang?
Yeah.
I'm willing, but I don't have the money right now.
Yeah. And remember, today, I talk about why should be more important than what and how, right? Check. We in life, we tend to see the what to do, how I can get money, what to do in these shows. But I will encourage you to utilize today's pro. One of the pros is ask yourself why. Is it clear why? Because when we want to do it, when your why is clear, we still may or may not be able to successful, right? But if a why is not clear, we will never be successful if we keep on focusing on what and how. So this is the reason I talk about these pros. Now, Lana, you're going to say something?
Chuck, I want to interject. We have a strong awareness of film and distribution, and Dr. Wang and I shared some thoughts. What he told you is so unusual. He was so candid. It is not done. He picked up the torch and ran with it, and he made all of us aware of his great film. The numbers weren't as strong at the beginning, but the word of mouth is going to be so extensive that this film is becoming a classic. I can share some Hollywood information with you, and I'm not sure how to transfer the email and so forth, and maybe through Dr. Wang, but I'll give you insight.
I can take your email. I can take your email right now.
Okay, but what I want to say is Dr. Wang's candidness is so unique to the industry. It is non-existent. He is the one who is creating the momentum. It will become a classic. It will be. There is no question. But it wasn't an easy road, and it still remains a very, very long road. Dr. Wang promoted with the Chinese New Year, and hopefully it will generate more of the activity it so deserves.
Thank you, Lana. Actually, Chuck, how I met Lana was on the day of the distribution release, May 24th, 2024. Sai was very honored to be invited by Academy of Motion Pictures in Los Angeles to conduct a private film show, and lots of film critics and others arrived. It's an in-house show for the Academy members and all that, and that's how I met Lana. She came up to me. Remember, Lana, you're saying that you walked in, you saw I was in red shirt, you said, oh, and then you realized I was that guy, and we had the best of talks right after the film show. Yes.
But I didn't know who you were, just the man in a pretty red shirt. And please show that when you...
Can you share your email? Can you share your email, please, Lana?
Yeah, but I want to add something for Dr. Wang. I didn't know who he is. I had no idea. And while I'm watching the movie, I go, oh my gosh, he's the one. Dr. Wang, when you continue to promote your film, please wear the red jacket.
Okay.
Not only is it striking, but it represents the film. And for the Chinese New Year, when you associate the film with the new year, have the red jacket for some of the photo ops.
Thank you. Actually, I will take your suggestion to heart. Absolutely. I think I want to show you a little flyer, and then I think Chuck has a question. So maybe, Lana, you can put your email in the chat room as well, so Chuck can see. I'm going to show you all this little something. I'm going to this. Okay. Let me screen share. This is very interesting. Along with Lana is talking about the Chinese New Year thing. It's coming up, Year of Horse, and I think it's a wonderful opportunity for all of us to celebrate Chinese culture and the world culture, right? Chinese culture is not just Chinese culture, it's world culture. So you all see the Zoom. In the left upper corner, I type in drmingwen.com. So that's my website. So I hit it, you see the Zoom, and you see my website. The first item is Chinese New Year concert. Chinese New Year concert. That if Lana, you live in Nashville, I would definitely invite you. That I do this every year for Chinese New Year concert, and this is our concert. And basically, you see is February 12th, 5:30, 7:32 shows. I'm performing live Chinese violin erhu, and we have a cello professor TSU performing cello. We have she's a white lady, and there's a Latino guy, Carlos, performing guitar. We have a piano professor from Vanderbilt performing piano. We also have a singer, and we do the celebration. This year we expect about 250 people, and it's to benefit our Psi Foundation. So with your suggestion, I will wear my red dress again for this, because that's what my heart is. It's about sharing what's the best of Asian culture has to offer to America. So Chuck, to answer your question, that Lana, that you and Lana can communicate afterwards, and Lana, the Chuck's email is in the chat room already as well, so that you all can share that, communicate, follow up yourself. But I want to, anybody else have any question? If not, I really want to thank everyone. On the screen is Chinese New Year, Year of Horse coming up. And if you know anyone who happens to be in the Nashville area, we are having the Steinway Piano Gallery Chinese New Year show, which I host every year. And welcome to come. I will be performing erhu, the instrument I learned during Cultural Revolution in China, which is the film, the instrument you see in the film Sight. And everybody, thank you. See you February 18th, next Shi Ban Gong Bei Zoom. And on the chat room, once again, is the information about next Shi Ban Gong Bei Zoom, February 18th, and also the Vision Zoom, January 27th. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And Dr. Chan, too, for the coordination of this.
Yes, yes. Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Chan. He has been tireless, and really, he volunteered all of his time to do this. Really, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Ming.
Thank you.
Thank you.